Hey, Nikki here with Beauty's Your Door with my latest pattern, which is ME2046. Yes. And you know what? This is like a super simple pattern that's either sexy or casual or a little bit of both in between. And it's made with knits. It is, and I don't typically work with knits, but I wanted to do something that's like really casual, but that also can take you in from warm weather to cooler weather. You can do short sleeve, you can short it, you can pretty much do whatever you want with this pattern. And let's see. Of course, there's stretch knits, but what I'm making it in is, this is like a crepe. It's a stretch crepe. And just so that you know like how much stretch you need for this pattern for it to work like right out the package, it's this little gauge on the back. And so it is 4 inches. You're gonna cut a 4-inch piece of fabric right here. And then if it stretches over here, then you know you're gonna have enough stretch. So that's about 6 inches. This is 4 inches, and this is gonna give you about 2 more inches. So you just need to make sure your fabric stretches. And if it doesn't, you'll just have to make a few alterations to the actual pattern and to the fabric. But I'm using this, which is like a stretch crepe. It's kind of got some weight to it, but it's weird because it has some weight to it, but it's also kind of thin. So yes, this is what I'm using. And let's see here, I'm gonna read the back, just kind of give you some tidbits of info. You can use rib knit, sweater. I made this dress actually a few years ago. Well, kind of a version of this dress. And it's black, and it's like a heavy knit, and it's long, and it's this gold zipper up the side. It's beautiful. So I'm definitely gonna make tons of versions of this dress. But you're gonna need a zipper. You're gonna need a 24-inch zipper. For this tutorial, I did have like a 36-inch zipper that I cut down to 28 inches because I did, with the tutorial, I added 2 inches to the length, but I also, I put the slit up just a bit higher. So I think it's like 28 inches that I'm going to do. Let's see. It also says you can use a lightweight denim, lightweight wools, linen blends, stretch woven. So pretty much anything that has stretch in it, you can use it. Let's see what else here. You're going to need elastic. So on the sleeves of this, there's this elastic ruching, as well as on the back side, which is the seam, the ruching on the seam as well. So you're going to need your elastic. But again, this is probably one of the quickest sews. Even this tutorial is relatively quick considering mine are usually really long. Yes, but I hope you enjoy it. Any questions, concerns, just let me know. Oh, but one thing I didn't mention. Let's go through real quick the pattern pieces that you're going to need. So this is for, again, the tutorial that I'm doing is the version B, which is the version with the zipper. Version A is just the version without the zipper. It's higher. The slit on the side is higher. So you are going to need piece number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Yes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So again, this is like a very simple pattern with very few pieces. It's a quick and easy sew. So coming up though, I will be making the pants, which will be piece 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, very few pieces, a really quick and easy sew as well. So if you have any questions, concerns, leave me a message. Happy sewing. Okay, so we have the pieces cut out and the markings. And so like I said before, I'm making my dress a bit longer, so I added 2 inches to the pattern. And I'm also, because I have this very long zipper, I believe this zipper is 36 inches long, I am going to move the notch. Where are we here? I am moving the notch up significantly higher. And so just kind of a lot for that if you have a longer zipper. And the same thing applies if you can't find the 24-inch zipper. But it's more difficult to find like these really long zippers, but I wanted the option to have it like open really high. That way I can wear this one as either kind of a open tunic on the side, like the other version of this pattern, or I can kind of zip it all the way down. So I have my markings on all of my pieces. Okay, so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to serge my edges. Of course, if you don't have one, it's not necessary. It's just something that I want to do. Be right back. Okay, so we have the sides all nicely serged, and now what we want to do is going to take the front and the back with right sides together, and we're going to pin this. So there's going to be one side that your zipper is on. The pattern actually states that it's going to be on this side, but because I like my zippers on the opposite side, I'm going to change it. And you can do that as well, it's your preference. So we'll go ahead and pin this, and we're going to stop right where you've marked this. And this is where your zipper is going to start. Okay, so once you pin this, you want to go ahead and stitch. You can either do a zigzag stitch or a double stitch, and then go ahead and press the seam allowance open. Okay, so we have the sides nicely pressed along with the shoulders. So now what we're going to do is do the hem. We're going to finish the hem. So the instructions call for a narrow hem, which is simply, you can fold this under a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to fold it under another 1/2 inch, and simply stitch right here over the top. But I prefer to do in a blind hem, and I like a blind hem, especially when the fabric is a little thicker like this one is, and I've already finished the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold under a 1/2 inch all the way around and pin. I'm going to do this all the way around and then do a blind hem stitch. Okay, so we finished the hem. I went ahead and I did the blind hem stitch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a stay stitch around the neck. Okay, so we have the neck stay stitched. Now we want to go ahead and take the neck band, pin this together, we want to stitch this, and once you stitch it, press it out, and then you're going to fold it in half like this and press. Okay, so we have the neck band prepared, and I did serge mine, so you'll have to kind of look for these little notches because that's important. So make sure you have the notches visible. So you want to grab the neck, and you want to go ahead and match the notches up to these notches in the front and pin. And you want to have to stretch the neck a bit to make this fit. That way you know your neck will be nice and tight and not saggy. Okay, so now what you want to do is go ahead, stitch all the way around, and then after you stitch, and I'm stitching right before my serger thread starts right here. And after you do that, you're going to then stitch again 1/4 of an inch, which is 6 millimeters away from that seam. Once you do that, go ahead and trim, and then we're going to press. Okay, so we have the neckband attached. Now what we want to do is go ahead and trim. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and press this up. Okay, so now we have the neck pressed out, and we're just going to put this to the side for now, and we're going to go ahead and grab the sleeves. So what we're going to do is, I've already marked, and I kind of eyeballed this, but the actual pattern tells you where the markings are for the eave stitching. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 rows of eave stitching on both of the sleeves. Okay, so we have the eave stitching done. Now what we're going to do is insert the elastic. So we're going to work on the front part of the elastic first. So what you're going to do is this line that you've marked that's in the middle, you're going to place the elastic at the top of this, and then you're going to pin it. So I typically just keep my elastic in a bunch. I don't cut it. So what you're going to do is when you take it over to the machine, you're going to, as you sew, you're going to pull it. You're going to pull it as you sew. And what that essentially is going to do is move the fabric up, which creates this ruching. So go ahead and do that for both sleeves. Okay, so we have the ruching done on the front side. Now what you're going to do is go ahead and stitch the side seams. So we'll just go ahead and match these up, and we're going to stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a regular stitch from here to where the marking is, and then from the marking down, you're going to do a basting stitch. Okay, so we have both the sleeves stitched, and then we have from the marking down, we have this part base stitch. Now what you want to do is take a piece of elastic And where this marking is, but on the actual seam, you want to go ahead and pin this. And doing the same thing we did over here, we want to do that on the actual seam. We want to do that for both sleeves. Okay, so we have both sleeves elastic inserted on both sides. And now what you want to do is take a sewing gauge and you want to finish the sleeve hem. So we want to go ahead and cuff this under 1 inch, pin it all the way around, and do a blind hem stitch. But if you don't have the blind hem presser foot, what you can do is you can fold this under 1/2 inch. Well, no, let's go ahead and do 1 inch. You can still do 1 inch. And then fold it under again 1/4 inch, like so. And then go ahead and stitch on this upper line. You can either do it with the machine. I don't necessarily like the stitching being shown on this side, so you can go ahead also and just kind of hand stitch this. So again, fold this under 1 inch and then take the top of it 1/4 inch, pin it all the way around, either hand stitch it or stitch it on this top edge right here. And you want to do that for both sides. Okay, so we have the sleeve finished. Now we want to go ahead and set it into the dress. So let's do this. And you want to find the center of this sleeve. And pin the center of the sleeve to the seam. And then you want to connect the bottom seam to the bottom of the seam. And then matching up the notches, I'm going to go ahead and pin. Do the same thing on the other side. And now what you want to do is you want to take these ease stitching stitches and you want to pull them and maneuver them until you're able to fit the sleeve in. Okay, so once you have this set in, you want to go ahead and stitch and then press the seam open. And you want to do that for both sleeves. Okay, so we have the sleeve set in. Now what you want to do is turn this inside out. Alrighty. Okay, so this part over here, the slit that's open, you want to grab both sides and put them together. And you want to take your scissors and you want to clip right at the top, making sure you don't clip through the stitch. And then you want to do the other side as well. Like so. And now what you want to do is take the ends, line them up, and pin them. Okay, so once you have it pinned, you want to go ahead and base stitch from right where we did this little slit here all the way down. Once you do that, press this seam open. Okay, so we have the seam allowance pressed out. Now what you want to do is go ahead and take your zipper. Now the pattern again calls for a 24-inch zipper, but this one is longer. I actually cut it, but this one is like 28.5 inches. So the height of your slit can be however long you want it to be or however short you'd like for it to be as well. So just go ahead, you're going to place the zipper down. And so you can either go ahead and kind of pin this on, or you can do what I typically do, which is just use a double-sided tape. It just makes it so much quicker. I don't have to go through the process of doing like the little basting stitch because this works so well. So just go ahead and put the tape on here. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and stitch my zipper in place. Okay, so we have the zipper installed. Just as a reminder, this is view B, and I did add about 2 inches to it just to make it a bit longer. So if you wanted to do view C, of course it would be shorter, and you would move the actual zipper. The stop for view C would be also around up here, so it's a lot higher than the actual zipper. And instead of inserting the zipper, you would just close this up and then stitch along this line, cross over and stitch all the way down. But other than that, they're the exact same dresses. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, any comments, please feel free. So also coming up will be the tutorial on making the pants, which I absolutely love the pants. And what you can see here, they are a high-waisted pant with a side zipper and pocket.